Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Friday. It's Law Dog Sports, the weekend big show. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, joined as I am frequently by my partner, Jeremy Schroeder. And tell you, Jeremy, before we get into sports, because college football is really starting to heat up with the news cycle and everything else, but we are on, we tried Facebook Live to get caller or listener interaction. It's really, maybe it's for the best that we just can't seem to connect on Facebook Live. I don't know if that's something that's taken away, but we are live on a podcast. It will be kind of live, and it'll be on YouTube and SoundCloud, our regular old avenues. But Jeremy, I tell you what, this heat and last Friday, I titled the episode Heat Wave Edition. That I was a week too early. Today is
it's super hot.
Yeah, last week was the cold front, remember?
I know. I took the Grand Beagle out the backyard and ran her around for a little bit so she'd leave me alone while we were doing this. And she is passed out underneath my golf clubs right now.
Oh, well, there you go. Speaking of golf clubs, you don't know how close I was to calling you last Friday. And I think we might have talked about this on last week's episode, but Thursday night.
Saturday. Yeah,
Thursday night, a week ago Thursday, they had a scramble out at the golf course in Weatherford and Prairie West, and I tell you, it was so hot then. Even the cold front hadn't, this cold front had not moved in, so I didn't go. Nobody that I knew was up for going that night, and I thought, screw it, I'm going to call Jeremy and see if he wants to book Westwood Friday morning. Thought about even hollering at you ahead of time, see what you're doing this morning, but buddy, I'm too old.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. I mean, I can still do it, but I'll be by myself.
Well, sure.
No one else wants to go out. No one else is a psycho like I am.
Well, before football season, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I will drive to Norman, or if you want to drive to El Reno or something.
Oh boy, Crimson Creek, huh?
Yeah, Crimson. I played it. It's wide open, but I lost.
See if we can hit some balls over into the prison.
Oh, I tell you, it stretches from the Brahms on Country Club all the way to the prison. It is the longest course I've ever played. But anyway, how's your week been?
Man, it's been okay. Went up to Wichita Wichita, Kansas.
I'm going to Wichita.
On Monday, visiting some family that's from the Topeka area. We just met up there.
Yeah,
went to Topgolf went to Topgolf with my cousins and hit some bombs and had lunch and drove back home.
How's the drive?
It's like hour and a half, 2 hours. Not bad.
I meant your drive. Like you said, you went to
the drive's coming along, especially with the they use the flighted balls there that don't go anywhere, and they've got some sort of they've got and they also have like a GPS chip in them.
Knew they had something where they told you where you land or whatever.
Well, range balls are flighted. They're not set up unless you're playing like Pro V1 practice balls, which are like regular Pro V1. So if you ever see Pro V1 practice balls where you're playing, take a couple pockets full of them. But regular range balls don't go anywhere compared to a regular golf ball.
Well, maybe that's what's been wrong with my game. I steal those range balls and go out there and those.
That could be it. Yeah.
Hey, I tell you, last time I played, my drive was still just to be announced every time. But man, I was just killing it with my pitching wedge. I mean, I was dropping dimes, baby.
Yeah. Last two times I've gotten out, we weren't able to warm up because the range has been closed, and once you reach a certain age, it takes a little longer to get things moving. It was about 3 or 4 holes, and I was okay, but for that, no, terrible.
Well, I tell you, it was fun. It was fun watching the rain-soaked British Open last week and last Sunday, and it's always in that time of the year here in Oklahoma where you're watching those people in windbreakers and coats, and it's like, you sorry suckers. And so Brian Harman wins that one with what I would equivalent to an old man game. I mean, he just straight and on the fairway, and just showed all them young big whackers that this is how you do it, fellas.
You don't have to at a U.S. Open and the Open Championship, or the British Open as we call it over here. You don't have to be a super long hitter. Par is a great score in those tournaments. And remember Tiger when he won at St. Andrews, what, 10, 15 years ago? He
Yeah.
didn't have a driver in his bag. He hit 2-iron off the tee.
Yeah.
You don't need to be super long on those courses. Staying in play is heck, there was a hole where they had out of bounds that was actually in play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're going to a dog leg and there's out of bounds right there, and then 10 feet from it, it's bizarre.
You
And
saw
sideways rain and wind and
Did you see my tweet on Sunday, or maybe it was Saturday? I said,
probably.
when are we going to be done with this limey? Which nobody under the age of 30 knows what a limey is, but when are we going to do with this? Be done with this limey putt tournament? Because I'm
Playing in a cow pasture,
when
lots of
you're
Texas wedges out
when
there,
you're 60 yards out and you can use a putter. I mean, come on, man.
which is funny is that's called the Texas wedge.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I've
Mm-hmm.
learned that. So,
Yeah.
but no, Brian Harman. It was interesting that you said par can do you okay in those tournaments. He was 13 under to finish. So
Yeah, but he had one great round. The
yeah,
rest of the time he was hovering right around
he
that
really
number, right
was,
around
wasn't
71.
he? Yeah,
I think he was 4 under the first day, and then he just went bonkers on day two. But the conditions were great.
yeah.
And
Well,
then it was just hold on.
and it obviously affected Rory and some of the others, the usual suspects that we see. But it was great to see Brooks Koepka struggle. I mean, the Texas grad and then also a live tour participant, but awesome to see him struggle. And then, I guess now all the majors are out of the way. The only thing left now is the PGA Cup or the
FedEx Cup.
FedEx Cup, and that should be fun. But this has been a weird year in golf, Jeremy, because I had written Ricky Fowler off for done, and he came back and made a big charge in a big way, and then just it's always fun to see. And we've talked about this, the rather rotund guy who plagues the airwaves in the Oklahoma City metro area had that bet going on that Tiger Woods would never win a major again. Even back then, before Tiger got back in the fray, was that the better bet might be that Ricky Fowler never wins a major. And at that time, he was winning a lot of PGA events.
Yes.
But he just couldn't seem to get it done on Sundays. And we'll see if he can get over that. That's still a bet in play if somebody took it. But I like the fact that he got back in the game because he was nowhere.
Well, yeah, he's been working with Butch Harmon, who was Tiger's coach when he came on the PGA Tour after he left his dad, which he's really fixed him. And Ricky's still young. It's not like he's in his 40s, It's not like Sergio was when he finally won the Masters. Ricky's still fairly young. I'm looking it up right now. I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but I don't care about his wife. Why did I do that?
Ricky Fowler wife. What's that?
Oh, I don't know. I was Googling it up and hang on, let me see. I'm not sure how old Ricky Fowler is, but
make sure your Google history doesn't include Christian Yelich mom.
All right, he's only 34. So guys are winning majors in their 50s now. VJ, Phil, Tiger won, and physically Tiger's 80 years old. When he won that Masters, he's so beat up, his back's fused. He's got half a ton of surgical steel in his leg.
I still got some of that pitching wedge stuck in his skull.
Yeah, but you know what? To say that if a healthy Tiger Woods would never win another major is ignorant. It's just not smart. He's too good.
Well,
he's too good.
Professional sports, Jeremy, is so much about the mental state and just where somebody is and how focused they can be. And it's funny we talk about that because today the pencil neck, who is out in the LA Chamber of Commerce as we speak, is talking about your favorite quarterback, maybe being the best of all time just for the fact that he's able to stay focused through all of the nonsense that is his life.
Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, that guy. Pat Mahomes, with his sexually assaulting brother and his just awful wife, and
he's able to compartmentalize it.
He's
but
obviously football is a safe haven for that guy.
You know, how great is that? I just think of that. I mean, Andy Reid has had guys like McNabb, Vic,
Yeah,
Nick Foles,
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith, the immortal Matt Castle. Did he? I don't know. That one.
Was he? Yeah, that's a good question. Was Matt Castle with the Chiefs?
I don't.
Once Andy,
man, that first year Andy was with the Chiefs, they really turned it around. I think Castle was long gone by then because he was under Todd. Was it Peterson that was the coach there?
I think so.
Just spectacularly flamed out after 2 seasons. I saw an article that was tweeted out the other day how great it was that Arizona passed on picking up Andy Reid when he was after Philadelphia had fired him. It was like, yeah, how'd that work out for you? Casey's got 2 Super Bowls and Arizona's literally wandering in the desert.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're a lost franchise. And as much as people valued Kyler Murray coming out of it, I mean, you give Josh Rosen 1 year on a terrible team and then you just put him on the scrap heap just because this kid's coming in with some wheels. I mean,
Rosen, yeah, but Rosen's had his chances. I don't think he was I don't think he was good enough. But
you'll never know.
The ultimate, fail up guy, Cliff Kingsbury, that was just a disaster waiting to happen. Dude never knew what to do on the other side of the dollar store Lincoln Riley.
Is he on staff out at SC now?
Cliff? Yeah, I think he is.
I think he is.
Yeah,
consultant job or something there. Well, and
offensive quality control expert or something.
So back on my original tilt was the mental part of it. I get where, on a golf course, it is just, I mean, because you got elements, you got crowd, you have
golf is 100% mental.
Yes, it is.
Just 100. Anybody can swing a golf club. Yeah. It's all between your ears.
Yeah. And those guys, I mean, the way they approach a drive, a short putt, any of that, it the more I watch, the more amazed I just become.
And don't get me wrong, it does take some physical ability. I'm not saying there's no physical ability involved. Rory McIlroy is 160 pounds soaking wet, and they say he bulked up too much.
Well,
Ricky Fowler's probably 145.
Brian Harman looks like
Brian Harman is small.
Yeah.
He's a waggler. He's left-handed. He's got all these things working against him.
Do you hear he was threatening to kick Ricky Fowler's ass on in collegiate level?
Was he? Where did he play? Did he play? Georgia. That's right. I knew that.
I read an article that they were in a playoff, and he ended up beating Ricky Fowler in the playoff at I guess at a regional or maybe the national tournament. But he got so mad because he putted in or he chipped in or something, and Ricky nor his caddy got the flag for him.
Oh wow!
Discourteous move, and he went and told his coach, "I want to go kick his ass." And it's like, well, Bubba, I think that might be the one fight I might pick Fowler in.
That's a bantamweight matchup. Ricky's a very slight of build. He's only 5'9". He's he might be 145 pounds. Might be.
Yeah.
These aren't big dudes. Tiger was like the first one to really get in there and lift weights, and he was already hitting it farther than anybody anyways when he weighed 170 pounds.
I want to see DeChambeau out there knock somebody out. Speaking of knocking people out, big topic going on in the last couple of days, and it's been approved by the board of directors or the athletic directors of the Big 12. The prodigal son that was the Colorado Buffaloes will return to Big 12 action after what seems to be, Jeremy, the complete demise of the Pac-12.
Yeah, they ain't dead yet, but you might as well start digging the hole.
Well, I mean,
Colorado is such. Yeah, you look on the face of it, you're like, well, who cares? Colorado's terrible at everything. Colorado is a university of school. That's big.
Yeah,
it's not like you're losing Colorado State. It's not like you're losing Stanford. Even you're losing a state university in a Power 5 conference.
Well, and football wise, they've played in some Pac-12 title games.
Have they?
I know at least one.
Yeah. I remember
don't
them.
know if
I
it
seem
was
to remember them playing in one, but I don't think they had a winning record when they played it because the pack was so bad that year. And they've been terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have been absolute garbage since Barnett. Was it Barnett that got all the sanctions? Then Skippy came in after and kind of righted the ship for a minute, or was that the other way around?
Well, Neuheisel's the one that he would have gotten all the.
Yeah.
The Boise State coach. Go play intramurals, brother.
Dan McCarney.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
Big 12, brother.
no, that was McCarney.
Yeah, it was.
No, Dan McCarney.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's Iowa State.
Okay.
Dang it! I look up the YouTube video every year.
Daggone it! What's his good friend of mine?
Go play intramurals, brother. I don't know. So, well, the thing about it is with Colorado is I know that they played in at least one Pac-12 championship. They had some talent there a couple of different times.
Dan Hawkins.
Yeah.
Okay, that's now if it was Dan McCartney, all the best attributes of Bill McCartney and Dan Hawkins, then that'd been really cool.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so Colorado comes back, and it really what it does is it opens the door for them to possibly bring in Oregon to the Big 12, bring in one of the other three of the four corners.
Utah is, I think Utah.
Don't
you think? I mean, they've already got a natural rival in conference.
The thing about it is I mean, Utah is, and I just think of things geographically, and this is probably what gets me.
Like Iowa State, Cincinnati, and West Virginia?
Well, sure. in Central Florida. But no, what I look at is to me, I just think to myself, okay, Utah and whatever Washington and Oregon do could kind of be a trio, but the Arizona schools are so far out of the geographical loop. That's my first thought. That's where I go to. I could be so far off base that it might not even be funny.
I don't even think there are going to be conferences as we know them in 10 years.
Well, that's the truth right there.
Your Power Five is probably just going to become one separate entity. Mm-hmm. And that's who will play every year for, what have you. Sure.
Well, hey, I mean,
and have a full playoff, 64 teams.
It puts itself out there, Jeremy. And people laugh when I say this, but it's Mike McIntyre was the 2016 Pac-12 Conference Football Coach of the Year for Colorado. So that must have been the year.
Okay.
So Laviska Shenault, he's a good wide receiver they had.
Didn't he transfer?
I think I think he finished out there. But so anyway, that wormhole can wait for later. Mason Crosby, noted alum of Colorado. So anyway,
Chris Brown,
yeah, still running over Texas linebackers, and
they had some great teams back then under Bill McCartney. They really did.
Actually, I shouldn't even throw Texas in there. It was Nebraska that he got like 500 yards against in 2001. But no, I mean, to me, just looking at it, and I've said this for a long time, even before Oklahoma and Texas bolted. Make a run, when it was the Big 12, make a run at Arizona and Arizona State.
Sure.
And I know
you get both of them. There's a natural rival there.
It's the Southwest. They are part of the Southwest. Now, add Colorado, but the thing is to me, Arizona and Arizona State are the two that could be left off. And then when you talk about where college football is going to be in 5-10 years, I would say you could see a British Premier League 20-team Premier League and relegation.
Exactly. Yes.
If you don't think it's setting itself up for that right now, you're just in denial in my mind.
Well, for a conference that fancies itself a basketball power, why you're not going whole hog after Arizona is just
Gonzaga.
Beyond me.
Yeah,
Gonzaga too. I thought that was all but a done deal, but I guess it's not.
Yeah.
If only they had the foosball.
Foosball. Well, and Connecticut, haven't they been in and out of foosball for here and there?
I remember a Landry Jones-led Sooners team just shellacking them in the Fiesta Bowl one year.
Yeah, and then Randy Edsall, the coach, left for Maryland, and
then he came back.
Yeah, then to the disaster. So, man, I'll tell
you know, some schools aren't serious about it.
Sometimes when I start stuttering, I'm totally afraid I'm about to go full blown Mitch McConnell here.
Got sandbagged.
Oh,
I don't think the president's going to call and check on you.
Oh.
So is Shohei Ohtani, is he staying with the Angels?
Well, let's finish up college football.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I do want to talk about Shohei. But here's the thing. As an OU fan, do you even care any iotas about this whole
I do because I love college football and I'm right in the middle and I'll watch the games. I mean,
yeah,
you know, there won't be any Pac-12 After Dark starring Dion and Colorado in a year after a year, and they don't even have a TV deal out. They don't have granted rights in the Pac-12. They couldn't even talk about it at Pac-12 Media Day. Yeah. One day. Yeah. Day.
That's what stuns me, Jeremy, is the fact that they are on the West Coast and there are a lot of TV sets and a lot of streaming platforms, you know, on mobile devices, whatever the case might be, out in California and the West Coast. And, you know, I mean, we're told that Seattle's just the hub of everything great in this world. And, you know, all of the great stuff about the Silicon Valley and stuff like that. And
they've lost the Los Angeles market.
I guess
completely nerfed that. What the heck were they doing?
So let me ask you this, kind of an exit question on the whole conference stuff. And I asked Dan Narva this on Twitter yesterday, and he gave a very great, you know, answer, but I wanted to get your take. Did the Big 12 have to get the Cincinnati's and Houston's and BYU's in order to get the ball rolling, to get Colorado and potentially 2 or 3 others from the Pac-12? And also, you know, would a media deal have slowed down the departure of USC and UCLA from the Pac-12?
Okay, first part of the question, yes. Now, who is the former commissioner of the Big 12 that dropped the ball on all this? Wouldn't expand. Yeah, you know, kind of just rubbed, you know, had Oklahoma playing every week at 11 a.m. You know, couldn't cater enough to Texas, even though they had the Longhorn Network and everything else.
Yeah.
But refused expansion. If he would have expanded, there's no telling what would have happened. If they would have gone after some of these schools that have been like, you know, we're not happy here, let's, you know, we're willing to listen, but they wouldn't even pursue it.
Yeah.
And then he's gone. Yormark inherits a Big 12. It's good, you know, it's you fix it or you don't have a job, right? I mean, you've just lost the bell cows.
Yeah.
Okay. You lost the team that's been carrying the conference for the last decade, and you lost the biggest fish in the pond. All at the same time. Boom. Okay. So what do? Well, you got to do something to stay relevant. Expand. Keep expanding until you start getting these big time schools to look at you, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
He had to do what he did, and he did the right thing. If he would have been the commissioner, Oklahoma and Texas would still be members of the Big 12 because the Big 12 would be a premier conference and be much more competitive than it is now.
Very well put. And, you know, to prove your point, in my mind, Jeremy, as I look at the SEC, they never have considered telling Vanderbilt to take a hike.
And you know, they don't have to do anything. Vanderbilt could just, you know, tomorrow say, peace, we're out. Yeah. There's no buyout.
Vanderbilt is
they
like
just leave.
Guys that got invited to Rush.
Yes.
Fraternities that were, and I fit in either category that were smart, you know.
And they are there to get the cumulative GPA up, and that's why they are there. That is their sole purpose for existence.
Yeah. And so, you know, Cincinnati, maybe they get something going once again where they, you know, kind of pull off, you know, smoke, you know, a magic trick one time to get a playoff contender. UCF, I think, is on probably being in a major conference, probably going to
huge school, massive school.
And then also, you know, Colorado. And here's the thing, we know that you can recruit to Colorado. I mean,
you can.
We've
also. I don't know how well you can do it without escorts on campus, But it is it is possible. It's beautiful up there. It is beautiful up there.
Well, and I mean, now a lot of that stuff that was so frowned upon back in the McCartney days is wide open now, and legal. So that's not an issue.
And Lincoln Riley out in the mecca of college football has had 4 decommits already for the 2024 class. I don't know if you realize that or not. People care about this.
It's guys not wanting to have to go play in East Lansing in late.
Exactly. I mean, you look at Oklahoma's going to the SEC. Okay, it might be rough, might not be rough. You could make the playoffs with 4 losses in the expanded playoff, right?
Yeah,
3 losses, you can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. Let's be realistic about it. The second Oklahoma sets foot in that conference, they are the second most tradition-rich program in the conference. And we're talking about a conference as Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss,
LSU,
Florida, and OU is right up there with them. They just got to get bigger and stronger. And that's what they're doing. Yes, and USC Junior.
USC Junior. USC Lone Star. But South Carolina,
and they love it when you call them USC Junior.
Well, and here's the thing, Jeremy, to me, and I know I say here's the thing, I could totally see somebody in the next 5 years winning a title with 2 losses on their resume.
Exactly.
Here's the thing, it happened back in the BCS days.
It did. Louisiana State under Lester. Miles. Yeah, eating the grass on the sidelines and harassing his secretary and paying kids at the sex parties allegedly.
Hey, speaking of, was Joe back in the news?
Yes. He's wandering around on the beach,
and I need to look at it because
he's wandering around the beach hitting on women. Shirtless, of course.
Ed Orgeron living his best life in Miami. 17 million. LSU buyout, new wife, toned and tan, mingling with the locals.
That's he was what he was, and it worked for one season, and now he's living his best. Hey, go do your thing, pal. Maybe eventually he'll be someone's defensive line coach because he run out of money, but.
The caption that that my friend sent me the text on said, "Coach O rips his shirt off again."
You talk about a guy who's had so many chances. He's been he was the interim at USC. He was the actual head coach at Mississippi.
Yeah.
And he won a natty. Chiswick never got another shot after he won a natty.
It took over for him at Ole Miss once he got the boot.
Oh, Hugh Freeze, wasn't it?
I thought it was Houston Nutt.
Was it? Oh, yeah, it was a Nutter. Yeah, I always forget about Houston Nutt.
One thing about Houston Nutt is he will come in and do well with your talent.
He will win with other guys' talent.
You are right. Dudes, players, and then in 3 years, when it's all guys recruited, see ya.
Had to have Hugh Freeze come in and show him the way.
Freeze, show him how to work. Show him how to work the system.
So what's that? Oh gosh, what was the Jeremy Pruitt?
Oh yeah,
Pruitt. Now he's a PE coach somewhere in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's the one. Isn't he the one that went after Baker post game?
I think so. No, I think he went after Stryker. It was Eric Stryker. Yeah,
Stryker.
I mean, I thought that was Butch Jones. Is that not Butch Jones?
Man,
I can't even remember. Right. They've had so many stinking coaches since Fulmer. It's just ridiculous.
They got their guy now. I mean,
hell, they had their guy when they had Lane Kiffin, but they couldn't keep him enticed to stick around.
Did you see my tweet about Lane Kiffin and his hair vibes?
Looks like the Hair Club for Men spokesman from Seinfeld. Yes,
dead on, my friend. I got to give myself a pat on the back for that one. Speaking of, and I'll take off the headset, but I've been growing out my hair.
Look at you.
And I'm like that guy on Seinfeld who I think ended up being Michael Clark Higgins, the swimmer, or no, the guy that dated Lane that shaved his head.
Yeah. He ended up he's in the troupe that did Best in Show and all those. Yeah. He's funny. Yeah.
When he started trying to grow it out, and known for a long time.
6 months, maybe a year.
Live, damn it.
Live.
Oh, if you tune in and you don't love these Seinfeld references, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, hey, not everybody has the class that we bring.
So, are you following the SEC Network Twitter page religiously now?
I'm not yet. I'm not ready.
Yeah. Well,
I'm ready to see.
They've got a question on there that popped up just an hour ago. Best helmet in the SEC. I tell you, I hate
Ole Miss Royal Blue. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a Kentucky fan on
the gray mask. The gray mask, the blue pops with the red with the white outlines. Beautiful.
I'm telling you, Jeremy, the
gorgeous.
UK, and I don't mean the United Kingdom, but the UK just scratches me where I itch on uniforms and color.
I'm not a big fan because they throw that black out there, and I just don't like that.
I love it, man. I mean, if I was,
I barely tolerate the anthracites Oklahoma's going to wear. Barely.
Be a good luck charm at times. Though.
I hate the Rough Riders, even though I do have a Rough Riders helmet on my shelf back
white
there.
Helmet is a pretty good traditional.
I saw somebody mocked up an Auburn white helmet with an orange face mask, and it was just great. Bama, you can't say Bama because there's just Bama's. It's like saying Penn State has a great helmet. Like, you're not even trying. You got a stinking number on the side of your helmet.
And
I'm trying to think of all the big SEC. Nah, no, it's
pretty traditional. I mean,
I do kind of dig the LSU helmet, even though I'm not a big fan of the yellow. But it's unique.
Well,
kind of like their stupid field with the 5-yard. I don't like Texas A&M. Anything about
the best. So college football that kind of wraps up that, and like you said, how you're on the West Coast and you can't come up with a media deal ahead of everyone else. I don't understand. Unless the sports universe is just solely New York. I don't know.
They lost the Los Angeles market, and I think these outlets are just playing wait and see.
I'm going back to before they lost the Los Angeles market. I mean, here's the thing, and this Your Mark guy, he could be the next big trendsetter and kind of showing the formula to try to stay in the fight. But obviously, what's the guy's name? Qualcoff or
Klavikoff.
He obviously had no clue. His staff had no clue, and we're told that everybody on the West Coast is just so far ahead of.
Nobody cares.
Current step.
Nobody cares about that crap out there. No, and you're going to have 9 a.m. kickoffs for real.
Yeah,
for real in LA or this LA or Stanford was in it's up there around San Francisco. What is that? Oh gosh, what is the
Palo Alto?
Yes.
Which I mean, I'm told is beautiful, but
it is. They better get on the. My advice to San Diego State: wait for the Pac-12 invite before you tell the Mountain West you're leaving.
No kidding. Yeah.
You got to come back hat in hand, say, can we come back in? They're like, yeah, but you got to pay us now, dude.
All right. So baseball, Jeremy, you about jumped into it, and I kind of halted that train. But Texas Rangers, 2 games ahead of Houston in the American League West for first place. They started a 3-game series with San Diego tonight, and finished up a 3-game series with Houston. Lost 2 out of 3 on that one, but then got a good win in the rubber match. But Texas is dealing with some injuries too. But I guess we're on Shohei Ohtani watch to see if the Angels deal him.
We are. I think they're going to try to stick it out with him in the hopes that he'll give a guarantee that he'll re-sign. At this point, don't you have to get what you can for him? I mean, you're not any good.
Yeah.
You've had 2 of the best players in baseball and then you added Rendon last year. And what have you done with it? Nothing.
You could kind of say the same thing about the Padres with Machado. I mean,
Manny Machado and Soto.
Which one?
The big first baseman they signed last year? Was it traded for Juan Soto? Sure. Is it Juan Soto?
Yeah, I think it was.
And you know who the hottest team in baseball is right now, don't you?
It's your Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs, baby.
Right, baby.
6 in a row.
Yeah.
Of course, they're playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are dreadful.
Once the rest of the league got a scouting report on Ellie De La Cruz, the Central was wide open.
Wow. Yeah. He's going to be good. He's going to be real good.
He's real good.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't see the bad thing for Ohtani is I don't see a contender giving up the farm for him. I mean, baseball's not like the NFL where we'll mortgage the farm and suck for 4 years just to try to get a title, which the Rams have done.
And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at who would benefit from him? You know, he goes to the National League. Well, I guess the National League has a DH now, and so I need new parts for my head. But man,
yeah,
that's just. I mean, who's going to be willing to? I mean, I know the Braves are stacked in their minor leagues, but you would think he would go somewhere that's a good hitter's park. But then again, he pitches. So
Texas has a great farm system going right now. I don't know that he's the piece they need, but
Texas needs to just ride it out. Remember what happened last time they went through this? They signed A-Rod to that stupid contract and just fell flat on their faces.
Yeah. I don't know that they were contending as close to contending then as they are now.
You're right, but still.
I mean, A-Rod was just to sell tickets, right?
Well, yeah, but they didn't even break even on that, did they? Well, I guess they got out of that deal because the Yankees took it, but
yeah. I don't know. I mean, here's two things, Jeremy. Ohtani is a generational talent.
He is,
and
top 5 ball players I've seen in my lifetime.
And we are in the Central Time Zone, and I will not. It's not like I'm going to stay up to watch an Angels game.
You know what? You're hard pressed to find a guy that can hit with a better arm than Sean Dunston had at shortstop. This guy is just. I mean, he's hitting triple digits with the fastball.
Yeah.
And hitting, 450-foot bombs.
My thing is, and I think this is the whole contention on the running back thing is, and I guess in baseball, you're just going to sign the contract. You're just going to offer the contract I mean, that's a lot of wear and tear on the body.
Ohtani's got 38 homers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. 9-5 on the bump, 3.43 ERA, 156 Ks. This is a guy that does not go that deep into games because of the Tommy John.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, Mike Trout. We see it all the time, and it was the whole thing with Albert Pujols. You pull these guys in free agency, and you sign them these massive contracts, and you're getting them in their declining years.
Yeah. And, we don't know what kind of funny business was going on with Pujols. You know what I mean by that. I don't know if we can say that and get away with it, but he may have been a year or 10 older than his birth certificate
he
said.
could have been chemically altered. I mean,
maybe, but he was great. 600 homers, right?
St. Louis. I mean, he was the next coming of Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, he was better than Jack the Ripper. I mean, he's the best. He's probably.
I know he's better, but you know what I'm saying. Just that kind
outside of Edgar Martinez, one of the top 5 right-handed hitters you've ever seen in your life. You think about that.
Yeah. On the Cardinals, do you associate Scott Rowland with the Cardinals or the Phillies?
Phillies.
I did too. And when I heard he was in as a Cardinal, I was like, really?
Outside of his WAR, though, now we're getting guys in on advanced stats.
Yeah. Seriously?
Well, Don Mattingly hit 400 for his career at the bases loaded. Can he get in now? Please?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know average doesn't matter. I was watching A-Rod talk about hitting yesterday, the new techniques these guys are teaching, and he's talking about batting average, how it just doesn't matter anymore. Like these guys would rather you hit 200 and hit 40 home runs than hit 300 with 30 and 20 doubles. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and everything's cyclical.
Advanced stats are so weird, man.
I mean,
it's like, his OBP was like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, his OBP was 9,000. Okay, I don't even know what that means. On base plus slugging. Okay,
Yeah.
Let me see. Can I please see the formula, the algorithm used to calculate that, so I can see what it truly means?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I got a guy who's got is on base 40% of the time and has hit 25 home runs
Well,
and still hits for a higher average and doesn't strike out?
The day that they look at it and say that a strikeout's better than hitting into a double play or something, I mean, that's just
I get
nonsense.
that. I get that, I guess. But now that you're going, maybe now that the shift is going away for the most part, it'll start coming back to, where we understand it again.
Yeah. Hey, back on
Hasn't helped Joey
football real
Gallo.
quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the case study. Back on football real quick. In the SEC, who's a team that needs a quarterback the worst? Top
Man.
quarterback.
Florida? Vandy? Kentucky? Kentucky's replacing Levis.
Maybe Bama's not too high on their current stable.
Maybe. Boy, what are we thinking here?
According to the On3 Twitter page, On3 Sports, Maryland quarterback Talia Tagovailoa says he received a $1.5 million offer to transfer to an unnamed SEC program.
To Alabama.
I think Saban's
Alabama.
Come be great like your brother.
Oh man. Is he? Is he though?
I think he's done good things at Maryland.
I think Tua was good in college.
Tua's surrounded by the best.
I know, but we've seen what happens when they took the governor off Jalen Hurts and tell him just go out there and play football. Who's the better quarterback now?
Yeah.
Jalen was handing the ball off and getting out of the way for how many years in Alabama before Tua came in and they just opened the offense up for him. Didn't quite understand that.
Yeah. But I mean, he had to learn some things from the whole Bryce Young, Mac
Jones.
Mac Davis.
McCorkle, Mac Davis. That'd be awesome.
Maybe don't get hooked on me. But, I mean, he has to have learned, because I think he's smarter than his friend Belichick. He's had to have learned, let the offensive guys do things,
Now take a guy that was a defensive coordinator that's, never coached offensive life, be the primary play caller. That makes more sense.
That's what I think. That's why I say I think he's smarter than Belichick, but I don't know. I mean, Talia Tagovailoa could be going to an SEC program, but if you're going to go,
how much eligibility does he have left?
He's been there just as long as Loxley has, the coach. See, this is where we need Dan Narva. He's all things Big Ten.
Well, see, okay. So Loxley's first year at Maryland was 2019.
Okay.
Because Hurts was either going to Maryland, Miami, or Oklahoma. And he visited Maryland only because Loxley was a coach and that was his OC at Bama.
Yeah.
So if he's so yeah, he might have a couple of years left with the COVID year.
Yeah.
Or he could be there until 2035. Who knows?
They're all going 8 years now, Jeremy.
I don't know how things work now.
Well, that'll be interesting. And then, it could have been Florida. I mean, we don't know what they have in the stable. I don't know. So anyway, Talia Tagovailoa. I just like saying it. That's
Tagovailoa. Yeah.
Tagovailoa.
It's a fun name.
But back on baseball real quick. I just think it's when I look at the league right now, Atlanta just seems to know how to do things.
Yeah, they're a good team. They've all come up in that system and that environment. They're all really, they lost Freddie Freeman. Think of that guy. That guy's a stick. They lost that guy. Didn't miss a beat.
I saw him on Twitter. He's 2,200 hits, and he'd have to average so many to get 3,000. But I mean, is he as the Hall of Fame diluted so much that he would be considered a possible Hall of Famer?
I don't know that many. Usually, if you get 3,000 hits, you're in. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's see. What's the? I'm trying to look at his stats right now. Career, he is he's got 2,000 hits, 313 home runs, 449 doubles, 1,100 RBIs. I would like to see what his career batting average is, but apparently we don't care about that anymore. He is a career 300 hitter. He's in. As far as I'm concerned, he's in. Roland got him with 279 and 323, I think, as far as home runs. His WAR was really high. Win above replacement. I don't know what that means as a third baseman, but I guess they won more games when he started than the other guy. Is that what that means? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just take a stab in there. Let me see. Oh, his WAR for his career is, well, I don't know.
Hey, you were talking about your Cubs earlier taking on the dreadful Cardinals. You need to see. You need to search on Twitter Rob Friedman.
Okay, is that Fried?
Yeah, at Pitching Ninja. Miles Mikolas's ejection after throwing at Happ for hitting Contreras on his backswing.
Is this
the sequence of events with the plunking and?
I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Oh, here it is.
Oh my gosh!
On the big backswing, Happ got Contreras in the helmet, and the mask knocked away. Just trying to figure out exactly where the
is that what you're talking about? The play-by-play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very
well. And then they go after him.
That's what baseball needs this time of year. Some ejections, some plunking, some minor plunking.
Well, here's the thing. They threw the pitcher out. You know what? Happ just, dropped his bat, took his elbow protector off, and went to first. Because he knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
He probably felt bad about it. Contreras played for the Cubs. They've been teammates. It was a total accident, and he knew it was coming. But these sissy umpires get all in their feelings and just throw them out.
All right, buddy, we've about wrapped this one up. What do you got going this weekend?
Oh man, let's see. Gonna take my aunt out for her birthday tomorrow.
Nice.
Other than that, I don't know. I go back to work Sunday.
How's your sweet mother doing?
Huh?
How's your sweet mother doing?
She is good. Yeah, we rode up to. Hang on, I'm going to pause that. We rode up to Wichita together, and we went over to Okarche on Saturday. So spent some time with her while the family was gone.
Man, living out in Western Oklahoma, I have neglected the opportunity to get to Okarche.
Yeah, I get you some Ishans.
I did get some Ishans back in January when Weatherford played in the Kingfisher Invitational.
There you go.
First night.
So where do you stand on the 15 pounds of fried okra they give you?
I've had that before. It's good. It's just, I mean, nowadays, and I'm not trying to. I mean, I eat plenty of carbs, but just give me the bird.
Yeah. I don't make it out there that much, and I do love me a good fried okra, so I'll grab that when I go out there.
Fried okra is good. I tell you where I just kind of make a fool out of myself is those pickle and onion sandwiches. You lay down a loaf of Wonder and some pickles, and I'm just sitting there munching, dude. I mean, it's like the queso and salsa of American food to me.
I guess I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, they do it. They bring it to at Ishans.
Oh really? See, I've only ever gotten chicken there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mess. That's what I'm here for.
It's kind of like
here. Bring me that whole bird. Get out of my way.
Yeah. With
the wax paper, and I've got my food. Go away.
Yeah, no, I was under the understanding it used to be like an appetizer. They'd bring you several slices of Wonder Bread and some slices.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they brought that out, but I just
that's
neglected
pickle and onion sandwiches.
Listen, that's just an inconvenience. I am there for the main event. Okay, I'm not there for the undercard.
I'm there.
Bring me the chicken. Bring me the okra, and roll me out of here. Because you know what? If I'm eating that much fried chicken, I'm eating the okra. Doesn't matter at that point. Might as well have a real Coke too.
Shoot, don't need Akron.
That's right.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to try to stay cool this weekend. And I think my son's coming into town, so we're going to try to go have lunch with him. So we'll see how that goes. And then I tell you, it's to me, Jeremy will do our best. There may be some Fridays once high school sports get going. We kind of have to hit it early.
Sure.
Seems to me like your Fridays have always been fairly free.
Yeah.
And maybe some technical kid at the station I work at can get us back on Facebook Live. I'd love that. But and then also in the toasting of cross promotion, I do work for Right Radio and Right Media in Weatherford, Clinton, and Elk City. 97.3 The Score and 95.5 The Coyote. I told you last week that I had a chance to interview Lance Donnelly.
Yes.
And I tell you, you probably know this from being a fan and then also your own athletics through growing up. I think the name Darren Sproles still haunts him. And he didn't play.
Darren Sproles still haunts all of us.
That 2003 Big 12 championship, Darren Sproles, he just ripped our guts out at every turn.
So much so when that oh boy, what's his name? Crap, Dallas just drafted him. Deuce Vaughn.
Well,
every time I see Deuce Vaughn, I just start twitching.
Yeah, he's second coming.
Same deal.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then was L. Roberson the quarterback of that Kansas State team?
Yeah, he was the quarterback of the team that beat Oklahoma.
Because we beat Beasley in 2000.
Yes, Michael Beasley, who was a stud.
Jonathan Beasley or Michael?
Michael. Jonathan Beasley is
I thought Michael Beasley was a basketball player at K-State.
Might be John. I
think it was Jonathan Beasley.
Might be Jonathan Beasley.
Yeah.
Or maybe Michael Bishop.
That was before we got good.
Yeah, he was after Chad May.
Bishop was the one that puked down his leg and couldn't beat A&M.
Oh.
Snyder might have had a title.
Yeah, man. Wow.
It was your TSU on it.
Yeah, man. If Kansas State would have won a national title, that'd been like the asteroid can hit us now. That's about it.
Think about the Stoops brothers and Venables putting together a defensive plan for T. Martin.
Yeah. I mean, they put together a great game plan for that old man that played for Florida State. And
got my
the greatest game plan I ever saw them put together, though, was when they played Seneca Wallace.
Yeah,
Iowa State, when they kept bringing corners off the edge, and he didn't complete a pass in the first half, got sacked like 9 times and threw 3 picks.
Venables planning for Chase Daniel in the 07 Big 12 championship game. That was pretty
yeah. Hey Curtis, just kill him, okay? That's all. That's it.
Just go break
wherever he goes, knock his head off. Okay, coach.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you have a good one, Jeremy, and I will talk to you next Friday.
All right, buddy.
He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Have a great weekend. This is the Law Dog Sports Podcast, the Weekend Big Show.